Hey guys, I'm here to read out loud to you today, and it's going to be the article Drought is Making Treated Wastewater a Tastier Option. Please feel free to pause this at any time or go back as needed. Your focus question is, how are scientists cleaning water to address California's drought? Los Angeles, California. Experts say there's an effective way to help California deal with its long running drought. However, there's one big problem with their solution: the yuck factor. For a fourth straight year, California's drought has been shrinking the state's water supply. In response, water managers are pushing for something known as direct potable reuse. Direct potable reuse is a system that makes use of wastewater, much of it from the toilet. See Figure 1 below. The idea is to purify the sewage so it can be used as drinking water. The idea of drinking toilet water makes some people gag. However, the process has been used in Namibia in Africa and drought-stricken cities, including Big Springs and Wichita Falls in Texas and San Diego, California. There's Figure 1. Diagram showing how direct potable reuse system works in Big Springs, Texas. Start with 1, look at the images, and move around. Time might be ripe for the toilet to tap. In other cities in California, however, such plans have run into heavy opposition. In 2000, opponents of a proposed reuse program in Los Angeles came up with the mocking phrase, toilet to tap. Their efforts to stop the program were ultimately successful. Still, supporters of the process are now pushing the idea again. They say the time has come for Californians to accept direct potable reuse as a partial solution to the growing water problem. With California Governor Jerry Brown ordering a 25% cut in water use in some areas, the solution makes sense, they say. It particularly makes sense, they argue, for large coastal cities such as Los Angeles that flush hundreds of billions of gallons of treated sewage into the Pacific Ocean each year. They could instead capture that wastewater, clean it, and turn it into drinking water, supporters of reuse say. The water is discharged into the oceans and lost forever, says Tim Quinn, director of the Association of California Water Agencies. Yet it's probably the single largest source of water supply for California over the next quarter century. Drought is changing attitudes. California's severe drought may have finally changed the long-held attitude on potable reuse. Recently, a leader in the efforts to stop the earlier Los Angeles project said he might consider the new plan. You know, toilet to tap might be the only answer at this point, said activist Don Schultz. I don't support it, but we're running out of options. In fact, we may have already run out of options. Supporters of potable reuse insist that the public disdain for the idea is based on ignorance. They note that more than 200 wastewater treatment plants already pour sewage into the Colorado River. The river is a primary source of drinking water for Southern California. Wastewater ends up cleaner than most bottled waters. In the potable reuse system, sewage is cleaned numerous times and very thoroughly. Look at Figure 2. First, the water is passed through microfiltration that blocks anything larger than 1/300th of the thickness of a human hair. Next, it undergoes even finer filtration through a process called reverse osmosis. Water is forced through a membrane that blocks fertilizers, drug compounds, viruses, and salts. In the third step, ultraviolet light and hydrogen peroxide are used to break down any disease-causing bacteria that escape the first 2 steps. The result is purified liquid that is cleaner than most bottled water, supporters say. However, it is still sent to a traditional water treatment plant afterwards. There it is blended with other sources of water, processed and pumped into homes. Supporters of potable reuse say opposition is still mostly driven by the so-called yuck factor. However, opponents say they have a variety of other reasons for resistance, including cost and other unknown long-term effects. You may now scroll back up to look at Figure 2 to examine how the potable reuse system works.